Like, so we all die?
Mike's going to be killing all his friends. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I am your host, Chris. I'm here with my friends, and we are here to talk about entertainment, culture, and whatever the hell we feel like. Today, my group of friends with me today, I'm going to start with Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm good. I noticed our podcast is starting to turn into a Michael Keaton Batcave here, and we're just letting anybody in. We feel like.
Hey.
And Mike is actually referring to our new friend, Jai. How you doing, Jai?
Good. I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Keith, you're next. What are you up to, Keith?
Hey, you. Just reminding people, where there's a Gil, there's a way.
Oh, God. I'm out.
I'm out. He's gone. End of podcast. I'm not starting over a third time. And last but not least, I think it's James. How you doing, James?
Guards out. It's your boy, your engineer's favorite engineer, back for one more.
One more. That's it.
I noticed you're wearing a Jewish space laser shirt. It's not really nice.
I know.
I hear Jewish people are up in arms about that now. Like it's a thing now. Like, like they feel disturbed about it.
Well, if I remember correctly, there was a whole movie about it, right?
Spaceballs.
There sure is.
Baseball.
Jews in space.
That too.
All right. So we brought our friend Jai on here. First, tell the audience who you are and why you're on here, Jai.
Well, my name is Jai. I know most of these people on this podcast over here. Apparently, James reached out and said, "Hey, can you come in and just talk about what's going on with Gamestop, the stock?" So I was like, "Sure. I'm a retail investor. Why not?"
Ah, so you're an actual intelligent guy to talk about this stuff rather than the rest of us dorks here.
No, you guys are all right.
So I think we're Mike. You said something about giving a upfront about this whole talk about investing before we start this.
I did?
Yes, you did.
A disclaimer, I think, right?
Yes, a disclaimer is the word I was looking for.
Gotcha. Disclaimer. Yes, we are not professional traders. We are not brokers.
We're broke, but we're not brokers.
Right. Any opinion you're about to hear is used at your own risk.
For entertainment only.
Entertainment purposes only, right.
Yep.
That's
No
right.
financial advice here.
Right.
Entertainment.
All right. So, Jai, why don't you give us a background in case for some reason someone's living under a rock and they did not hear about the surprise GameStop level up that we had recently?
All right. So if somebody was living in a cave and they came out of the cave and they saw the news about, like, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, GameStop stock just skyrocketed into the atmosphere, basically. There was something called a short squeeze that was going on. So basically what happened was when you buy a stock, apparently you can actually lend that stock to somebody else who can sell it to somebody else, right? And so
it's like leasing your apartment, like you double lease your apartment or whatever.
So basically, yeah. So a quick example, if James has $100 of whatever stock A, I come in and I say, "Hey, James, can I borrow that stock?" All right, I'm going to pay you back on Friday, the same stock. I'll pay you, I'll give you back the stock on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I take it and I sell it to Keith, right? And then so when I sell it to Keith, I'm hoping that the price actually goes down. So if it's $100, I'm hoping that the price actually goes down to $50, so I can actually buy the stock for $50 and then pay James back and then just pocket the other $50, right? So you had, on one side, you had hedge fund folks apparently that were actually shorting GameStop stock a whole lot. And apparently it was over 100% of the amount of stock that was available. And I don't know how that was possible, but apparently they make it happen over there. So
of course,
some Reddit people on Wall Street Bets over there on my right, they figured that out. They were like, you know what? If it's 100 and whatever percent, 120+% shorted of the stock, let's just buy it up and just make it go higher. So when the stock goes higher, if I'm in the middle, I have to pay so much more for that stock, right? So if it was, I borrowed $100 from James for that stock, and it went up to $200. Now I have to actually buy that stock on Friday for $200 in order to give back that stock. Mm-hmm. And so the Reddit folks over there at Wall Street Bets, they figured that out, and they were like, you know what? Let's just pump it all the way up.
So they did a Leroy Jenkins in the stock market.
Basically, yep.
Yep.
And then all this other stuff came out in terms of the I don't know if I can actually say those trading platforms over here, but
right.
You're fine. Go ahead.
We're good with that. Like Robinhood, they basically prevented traders from actually buying that stock to make it go higher. Yep. And so people are up in arms about that. If you check the market today, Gamestop took a nosedive basically.
Right. If they prevent people from buying it, all of a sudden it's going to stop going up, right?
Not only did they prevent people from buying it, they only allow people to sell it.
Oh,
which is like, okay, all these folks were in belief of like this free market system. That's not free. You're saying I can't buy any, but I can only sell. Yeah, and I just dropped the stock right back down. So it was just like, what's going on here? You know, so
I guess my question, I guess I have a couple of questions, but I'll just do this one. Do you know if there's something in like the EULAs for these softwares that allow you to day trade that say they are not liable if they because they actively prevented you from selling off and you might lose money from it? I wonder if there's some liability there because they actually prevented.
There must be.
They're getting sued.
Yeah.
They're traders that are there's a class action suit.
Mm-hmm.
And even AOC was on the. She got in the mix about the situation with and that they can't do that. Like,
and that's when Ted Cruz came to her rescue. Like, yeah, let's get together and do this. He's like, hold up there, buddy. Don't need your help. Yeah, I got this one.
But the weird thing, the background, a lot more of the background is super sketchy though, even in terms of like how and why they stopped the trading. You know, you come to realize that, and Robinhood wasn't the only digital trading platform that halted trading on those.
Yeah, TD did it as well. TD's actually
now those companies are actually funded. They're actually funded and owned by the end product traders.
Yep.
So
Cerberus, what's their name?
Some Cerberus.
It's Apex, but let me just correct Keith. But some of them are like the smaller ones are, but the big guys like Fidelity and even TD Ameritrade, they have their own clearinghouses. They basically clear their own money.
They clear their own money.
They clear their own trades, right? Basically,
but they're in the market,
right?
But they're also in the market. So like you're playing with somebody where we're not realizing we're trading on these platforms where the owners of those platforms are in the market with you.
Oh, I think if you guys get a chance.
I'm saying the average investor doesn't like, you don't really take the time to really understand that. So like what was really going on is you're trying to game, I'm trying to game the trader out of the traders, the institutional traders' money, but that institutional trader is actually the one responsible for giving me my money when I want to sell my stock. Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying? They're controlling the actual flow. It was inevitable that they would stop it.
Once they saw you're saying once they saw they were actually losing and getting hurt by this, they were not hesitant to stop the day traders from actually beating the house.
But conversely, like and so now you hear a lot of talk about like, oh, market manipulation, and that's like it was people on Reddit manipulating the market. But those same institutional traders, you know what they do when they make those They make those short bets. They make those short bets, and then they go on shows. They go on TV shows like any of those financial shows or the Wall Street
Bloomberg,
shows,
CNBC,
and they'll talk down a stock so that people sell their stocks so that they can and the end product is them making their money on the short of that stock. So they've been manipulating. Like
Jim Cramer used to be the worst on CNBC.
Cramer, total manipulation. So, but it's so like your average guy is losing his shirt every day. There's retail investors that's losing their shirts every day. Yeah. It's not until it happens to the actual institutional investor that it's a problem.
Yeah, now they want regulations. Basically.
Now you want regulations.
When you were like
this free market, have the most unregulated Wild West industry forever. Yeah. Now you want regulations?
That's insane. But like, just adding to what Keith is saying, like all these new platforms that have popped up and where they've gamified basically trading. I heard that somebody mentioned that, you are the product. Basically, when you're using it, you are the product, because how they're making money is some of them, if you guys get a chance, there's a great book by Michael Lewis called Flash Boys. And what it tells you that is because some of these companies, they will front run the numbers. So when they get the numbers from the trades, they actually are trading on those numbers. Basically, these smaller platforms, they're trading bigger, higher bets. Like, okay, they see that Keith is about to buy whatever stock for $100, right? They'll buy it for like 90 and sell it to Keith.
Oh, so they're playing middleman.
They're playing a game as well.
And these like microtransactions, they're not making like $10 or whatever. They're making like whatever, but it adds up. Yeah. And then it just seems like, how can we win? And then when you get into it, like these huge conglomerates or whatever, like they have like something called a dark pool. Basically, they don't know what goes in. Like it's basically just a room, or metaphorically, it's a room where you don't know what's going on, or how the trade is going, how much you pay for it. But they call it these dark pools. So, which is like, okay, that's another thing against like just a regular retail investor, right? So it's just like, and when they're screaming, "Hey, we need regulation," then something is terribly wrong.
So let me ask the question, Chris. If you made
go for it, please.
Because this phenomenon of me, and I'm a novice at all this. I've been trying for years to learn this a little bit. But for this phenomenon that happened last week, how was it that Reddit or subreddit group of people were able to be this savvy, and I'm not gonna say manipulate, but to counteract what's been happening for at least a couple decades, which I haven't heard before until now? What changed? Like what ignited?
It's manipulation. You could say it. Like, it's not like, no, it is a manipulation, but this is the first time that Main Street was able to manipulate the market.
Well, from what I understand, it's a manipulation of a manipulation. They basically took advantage of something that's been happening, which is a market manipulation. And they said, oh, we can turn this with enough people because we can't individually push the money.
What happened, what caused the difference was COVID, people being at home, and like the access to the market is now free.
Mm-hmm.
Those trades are $0.
Those are very big. Those are very big.
$0.
So just think about it. Back in the days when you wanted to buy a stock, you had to call your broker. You had to, hey, listen, get me.
And it costs you money every trade.
Right, and then they hit you up with
every trade.
Every trade. Now it's just like $0 free trading. So it's just like
digital. Now it's digital. It's gamified, and it's free access. And not only free access. Never before could you just like buy fractional shares of stocks. Like that was more of an institutional bank kind of thing. Like, they could buy fractional shares of stuff. Like I can't buy just a piece of Amazon. Like I'd need to buy a whole share.
Mm-hmm.
So even that, like, so anybody can come in, and anybody in any price range can come in. So that means now, like, you've got now Wall Street isn't the biggest players in the market. It's actually Main Street. Because like from a dollar and up, anybody could be in the market. And that's what actually happened. So now those Reddit groups stem from, like, those are people, like, I'm in a million different financial groups, like stock groups and stock tips, and so these groups just grow. Like they grow, they've gotten bigger. So that that Wall Street Bets thing, what this particular run had, what it started with was somebody was really, they had a long-term play in GameStop, right? And they were upset. They were upset that the big institutional companies were shorting GameStop. And the reason why they was upset, because it was like there are positive things about the company that they were that those institutional investors were trying to undersell to get the stock price even less. But you know what I'm saying? Like, even for a brick and mortar company, like, they were being disingenuous, and there were some things like, so they were really trying to protect the stock as it was. And then it turned into a whole thing like, oh, we've got a lot of people here, we could really stick their short to them. No one sell, don't sell, like buy, don't sell. They just wanted to stick it to those initial institutional investors that were shorting GameStop.
Okay.
And
were they successful?
Because the idea really is like, there's only there's a limited amount of stock of every company. So if it's not moving, if people aren't buying and selling, your bet against the price going down, it's only going to keep costing you money, especially if I'm buying and holding.
Yeah, I can't give back James's stock at $200 if nobody's willing to sell it at $200.
Nobody's willing to sell it.
So I say, hey, listen, can I get it for $300? And nobody's willing to sell it for that. So can I get it for $400?
And that's all the price is doing now. So now the price is going up. Like, okay, it's 300. Nobody's gonna sell. Okay, 400. Nobody's gonna sell. Okay, like, because that's what the capitalist market does. It just raises the price until the market tells you it's gonna sell at that price. So it was a lot of people kind of like consoling themselves into like not selling. Hold, buy.
Wow,
hold.
So,
but never in time before would we have been able to do that.
Right.
And I really think that this signifies a whole bigger change in a lot of different, like, this is no small thing.
Right, because it's not just the individual being able to access the market. It's also the social network capability of influencing multiple people to do the thing you need them to do.
Yep.
So it's a confluence of two different technologies that by themselves individually would not have caused this to be a thing.
Now imagine.
Now everybody knows what's going on behind the
influencers. You have your social influencers who can now influence the financial market because of the voice that they have, because of the followers that they have. They can influence the financial market now. They couldn't do that 2 years ago.
Okay, so this individual thing, was this successful? Did they get, because you said initially they wanted to stick it to these dudes. Were they successful in doing that, or did this end up failing because of the whole shutdown?
What was the company? The Howard, or whatever the hedge fund, whatever the hedge fund is that they were rallying against, like, yo, like, they almost went bankrupt. They had to get another $1 billion infusion. They had to get another couple $1 billion infusion to save that company.
Wow.
$1 billion, yeah.
Like, it worked.
Can you imagine just being able to get $1 billion infusion because you lost your hat in a play?
Well, they had to, because you got to pay the money back.
But you know what I think is, like, even though I think the curtain's been open and people actually can see, okay, this is how they're doing it, I think those big guys, they're in the background, they're calculating all these like scenarios. Basically, they didn't account for this one, but now they're gonna account.
Some of them were in on it.
Yeah, they're gonna correct. The market corrects itself eventually. I think some of the like the big guys are gonna realize, okay, there's some loopholes here that we need to plug.
Some of them made money on it. Some of them
absolutely. They
some of them were in
the
some of them there was hedging of what you call is going on. Like some hedge funds actually like bought with the crowd. Bought and sold with the crowd. Like
That's the smart thing to do. It, yeah, why not?
But see, that's what I'm saying. They're always gonna win. Like we're just hearing about the other side, like it's poor me for the big guys. But like, nah, like they had their hand in the cookie jar too.
So then my last thing on this would be, so we just heard Elizabeth Warren was put on the committee. What the frig, the financial committee. I forget the name of the actual committee, and we know how much she loves Wall Street. So do we think with this coming to light, because part of this is not just that it happened, it's the news of it happening, the way it happened, and the response of it happening in public, such a huge public response. Oh, hi, Brooks. How you doing?
Hey, Brooks.
Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Had another late night meeting that I had to take. But I missed you guys last week, and I'm really excited to be back. And I'm really excited for our extra special guest over here, Jai.
Extra special.
We've been trying to get him on for like a year. So
the rest of us aren't special at all.
Wow.
All right. Anyway,
Not extra. We're just special.
So special.
Regular special.
Regular special.
Extra crispy.
So do we think this is going to cause some sort of actual government level come down because this made such a huge splash?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for them.
It's always hard, but like, do you think they'll try to do something? Because like the housing market crash, the bubble, whenever the bubbles burst, the government comes in and goes, even if they do a little bit, or if they do something and then it gets taken away, they always come in and try to do something.
Yeah, but
they
I think,
have to.
Chris, but I think if you look at quote unquote the victims here, the victims isn't like Main Street or like the house, mortgages. None of that stuff got affected. It's the big.
Yeah, but those are people with influence in the government who are going to ask for stuff now.
Some people are going to get. Some people are about to get affected.
Yeah, there's going to be an effect, whether it's positive or negative. I'm not saying. I'm saying
some of those
do we
same
think
holders.
This is going to cause.
Yeah, so usually and this is where we want to get into politics. You look at the traditional conservative party versus the traditional Democratic Party. Conservatives, for the most part, lean towards the bigger institutions, whereas Democrats are regular people. Right now, we're at Biden's first 100 days as president, his administration. I don't see him pivoting to save Wall Street and save these big companies who may have been affected or not. I don't see him really. Yeah, this whole congressional overseeing financial committee that Elizabeth Warren's in.
I think it's the finance subcommittee or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just to show that, hey, we're involved. We're looking, because I know AOC was up in arms about that, as she's up in arms about everything, and some things I don't agree with her. But I don't see this particular administration with this current setup of the Senate and the House really looking to regulate anything on Wall Street at the moment, because that's not what that party platform. That's not what the party platform is at the moment. They're not trying to.
I feel you, but there's going to be a lot. I think we're underscoring like even we hear like the big major issues that they're discussing. Like it might make the news and we'll hear them, but like there's a myriad other policies that are going on like that Congress is working on, like that aren't as sexy, so we don't hear it in the media. But like they can chew gum and walk at the same time. And what Trump did was he rolled back a lot of the regulations.
Yeah,
and I think all of those are coming back. They're all coming back.
Right.
They're all coming back.
But I feel that even though if they do come back, I think these big guys will just circumvent it somehow.
Plus, I don't think this exact scenario it will be their focus at all. I think they're going to look at
I don't think
subprime mortgages again. They're going to look at a lot of the stuff that Obama instituted through his administration. They're not going to look at this particular example to see, how do we make sure this? They're not going to plant a flagpole on this topic.
No, I just
won't,
say,
but I'm sure the big guys see what it is that I'm talking about right now. Like there's a new factor that's going to be a part of now your evaluation of like companies and their stock worthiness and this, that, and the other. And it's a social element. It's going to be a social element.
Yeah.
And that social element is a big deal. Like imagine now, like we can rally behind companies that we feel are socially responsible. Let's raise this. You know what I'm saying? Like let's have a campaign and like let's raise this stock through the roof. Like Patagonia, we love Patagonia. I actually do love Patagonia. I think it's a great company. But like we love Patagonia. Like let's go ahead. Like we should all invest in Patagonia. Now the company might only be worth like it's only worth 200 million, but like we've raised the stock price up to make it like a valuation of like $1 billion company. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these kind of things, social activism, financial activism, like huge. It opens the door for so much stuff. It's there's regulations afoot because I'm sure I'm not the only one that sees that. Like they're scared. They have to be scared. They have to be scared.
Yeah. I mean, you are Keith Stradamus though. So maybe you're
I love Brooks.
All right, I'm going to give Jai the last word. Do you have anything else you want to add to this discussion before
we see this ending?
Yeah, if you're going to get involved in like these stocks, don't bet your rent money or your mortgage money on that.
Just like going to the track,
you might lose your shirt and a whole lot more. So just be careful with that because, like Keith was saying, you don't know where this information is coming from. Any of these internet warriors, they can just be plugging away.
They could be a hedge fund manager.
But they make it real. That's what I'm saying. It becomes it's no longer hearsay. They can literally make that happen if they have enough followers. Like that's the scary part. Like
the scary part is you don't know who is actually originating this information. That's
did you guys see that there's a movie they're gonna try to make?
Yeah, there's screenplays already about this.
It came out quick. Someone
was making money off this.
Monetizes quickly these days, man.
Look, there's so little creativity out in the market now. Like I could definitely see why that would be like they'd get on it quick.
No, I can absolutely see a writer with a log jam going, I'd have nothing to write about. He looks at the news, goes, hey, there we go. Let's do it. That's absolutely, I see that happening. All right. Thank you very much for that.
Before you say that, what's sad is I came into this pod feeling a little more confident, thinking, all right, I'm gonna get engaged with, and then leaving this moment of this pod, I'm like, fuck, I need to pause, hold back.
Don't spend your mortgage money on these stocks.
That's right. Yeah.
Look, but the rules still apply. These
I still owe this guy $200.
This is
we don't need to know about that.
Like this is a spike kind of like. This is not your average situation. I'm not a day trader. I use a digital app, Public, but I'm not a day trader. I'm actually like creating and building a long-term savings. So like my stock outlook and the stocks that I'm picking and choosing, I have a whole different methodology or what I'm looking for. So it depends on if you're really using it like a long-term investment tool, you wouldn't these things aren't the things that will excite you. You'll think about stuff like, what markets do I think are going to be the markets of tomorrow? Clean energy.
That's basically what Keith was saying is investing versus speculating.
Electric cars.
Investing versus speculating. No, I like what Jai just said.
Okay.
Bioengineering.
So as a real nerd,
Bitcoin.
My investment is hanging on the wall behind me. This is my long-term investment strategy right here. 90s comics that sold in the millions. They're obviously going to be worth something someday.
Chris, if you can find a market to sell those comic books, hey, you can be a millionaire.
Let me tell you, the only thing I've ever sold that I think got really close was I sold. Do you guys remember Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
I sold my collection for like $3,000 a couple years ago.
Yeah, some of those single cards are worth a lot of money.
It was all based on like 7 cards.
I was gonna laugh at you until you said that. Holy cow!
No, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm starting a shop. I need to build my collection." And I'm like, "I'm looking to sell. What are they worth?" And so we went through it, and he's like, "Okay, these ones right here are worth money, and I'll just take the rest with them." And so what I do, I went and I bought new tires for my car.
Maybe you should have held on to them for maybe another 5 more years.
No. See, that's the problem. That stuff like that is peaks and valleys very quickly. If you find a good price for those kind of one-time collectibles when they're hot, you got to decide if you want to wait 15 years, that's one thing. But if you think that thing's going to be worth more in 10 years, it's probably not.
Gotcha.
You know, collectibles are a very short market, especially something that's widely distributed like Magic the Gathering. The only reason I had ones that were worth something is they were the first run that basically stopped, and then they went into mass production. So
Gotcha.
you get those beta cards, or you get those first run cards, bad artwork cards, things like that. Things that make it one of a kind are what worth money, not this mass produced shit that I hang on the wall behind me.
You hear
All
that,
right.
James? That's what you got to come in with the investing, man. You got to
That's
have
crazy,
that
man.
knowledge of those stocks like that.
All right.
All right.
So yeah,
Taking
unfortunately,
notes.
Baby Yoda behind you, James, isn't going anywhere. And all of my GI Joes, I pulled them out of the packaging, so they're not worth money either. All right. So this should be fun. So we're going to move on to WandaVision. Now we're going to talk about episode 3 and 4. Who here watched episode 3 and 4 of WandaVision? Only 2 of us?
I know you guys didn't expect me to do my homework.
Mike watched it.
Mike's not even listening to
I
me.
was here for investing.
You were here. Well,
No, I saw
we
it.
want you to stay and enjoy the conversation, because first, what I'm going to do.
Well, this affects you, Jai. I'm pretty sure you're connected to Disney through some financial means, so you should be paying attention.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
So before we talk about the WandaVision episode, so I wanted to do a little quiz for the audience. I want to do a little quiz for the audience for you guys, and we're going to call this Mad as a Maximoff. And so what I want each of you to do is tell me what 3 television shows, if you were to go crazy and you were possessed by magic, what 3 television shows in the 3 eras, either 70s, 80s, 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever, would you put your town through? So for example, if I were to fall into a magic coma, you might go through 60s Adam West Batman, 70s Wonder Woman, and 80s Greatest American Hero.
Oh, that's a good one. I already got 2 in my head.
All right, James, go ahead. Give it to us.
Three's Company, definitely.
All right, so there's your 70s.
What's Happening?
Nice.
The
Okay,
third one, I can't think of a third one. Come back to me.
you're not gonna do what's a good 90s sitcom or show that would go along with that crowd?
Which crowd now?
So James picked Three's Company, What's Happening. So we need a third one that appeared in the 90s. Martin. There you go. So
okay, I think the 90s was more like black sitcom-y.
Yeah. Or Living Color, actually. But that's like 2 way off. That's like
Living Single.
My all-time favorite show.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, I know that would be Brooke's favorite show.
Oh, Living Color, definitely, because you have multiple versions of, short little sketches you could do. Force everybody
I can see James in that fire hat being the
Fire Marshal Bill.
Jim Carrey Fire Marshal Bill.
Let me tell you something.
That's absolutely a James thing. I would definitely live through that. All right. Does anybody, if you go Mad as a Maximoff, what 3 shows are you're putting people through? Anybody?
Jai, let me hear you.
I pass.
Well, I can tell you my 80s show would be Cheers.
Okay. Oh,
All right.
My dad loved Cheers.
That's a good one.
Lots of drinking at the bar.
Yeah.
All right. In the 2000s.
Oh, man.
2000 sitcom.
Frasier?
Yeah, that would be a
2000.
Frasier. Or Joey. No, that came out later. It'd be Friends.
I think I stopped watching sitcoms.
Friends
in
would be the
2000s.
2000s. Wow, you guys are so exciting. You bring such life to this podcast. I want to thank you.
2000s, dude. I think I stopped watching those sitcoms.
It might have helped if we had known this question was coming.
I didn't have time to prepare.
You guys are so spontaneous, let me tell you.
This is the Netflix generation, man. What are you talking about?
Hold on. This is your show. You, Keith, The Office. You guys always swear by this damn show, The Office.
Yeah, that'd probably be on my list too.
That would be that would make my list.
I still have yet to watch that show.
The American version.
Now
Right.
it doesn't have to beat sitcoms. So like Brooks could live in Utah with the housewives
The
up there.
Housewives.
You know.
I feel like I would live with the Housewives of Beverly Hills or
Okay.
Atlanta.
So
Yeah.
does that mean you'd be on Road Rules in the 90s?
I mean, I
Remember-
definitely watched The Real World
No,
in the
you know what?
90s.
Real
for
World.
sure.
The Real World. Yeah, I watched it. It's not a sitcom though.
Yeah, I definitely watched The Real World.
Yeah.
So what are
MTV heavy in the 90s?
Yeah, I'm
on
still
my list
MTV
would
heavy.
be Game of Thrones.
I haven't
as
watched
well.
MTV in years.
Game of Thrones? You want to put everybody through Game of Thrones, Mike?
That's right.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
shit.
You crazy. You cray.
And then probably for the decade before that, maybe Dexter or something.
Oh my God.
Like,
Mike's-
so we all die?
Mike's
Pretty
going to be
much.
killing all his friends.
Chris.
At least, at least he didn't say The Wire.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I would do Lost, Chris. That's what I would do.
Oh, Lost is a good one.
Went to my head, yeah. Lost. Everybody would be in that bad boy.
Jeez, I'm surprised nobody picked like the 70s Hulk.
I thought about it, but I
Be
was
a
like,
little banner
eh,
or
just wandering around all
Just
sad
one.
all the time.
Sad, depressing piano music in the
Yeah.
background.
I'd rather do MASH or something, you know?
oh, you want to live in the Vietnam War? That sounds it's
Korea.
right up
Yeah.
your alley, Mike.
I don't want to go to any of Mike's shows.
Hey.
Mike is
Yeah, but
trapping.
you're working in a mobile hospital, right? So it's not
Different-
like you're on the
different-
front line.
I definitely wanted to live in a different Strokes house.
There you go.
That's right.
By the way, Nash painted that it was a Korean War. Actually, painted it
Korean
so
War,
like easy going, like it was a comedy show until you started really researching what war was about.
But they had some heavy. They had some
Yeah,
heavy
they had some
episodes,
good
though.
messages on that show.
They had some heavy episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even,
those are the ones I
concerning,
skipped.
Like messages around war. Like,
Those are the ones I didn't watch because to me it
Mhm.
wasn't funny.
to it, like how the show, like I think the final episodes and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, when they
Yeah,
had
it
their
was
back.
it was very kind of heavy. Like it was.
Yeah, they have a few episodes where they really they didn't pull punches and they wanted people to know what was up.
Yeah, yeah.
But- all right. Okay, since you guys just so much life into this podcast, thank
Yeah,
you.
good try, Chris. Good try.
Good try. All
I
right.
liked the question, Chris. You should keep those spontaneous.
But you didn't answer it.
Random questions coming.
I like the
You didn't
question,
answer.
but I had no answer.
Well, no, she said she's gonna start in what was the MTV
Living
show?
Single or Road Rules?
No,
Real
Real
World.
World.
Real World.
And then Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay. What was the first of the type of that show? Was it the Real World?
I think the Real World. Yeah.
Yeah, in
The
1990.
Real World popped
Yeah.
it off.
Then
That started-
Survivor a
that
year
started
after
the
that.
whole reality TV nonsense, like Real World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember going to I was probably like 11th grade and MTV was actually showing music videos. And then once I got to college, like it was like there was no more MTV. There was no music television. It was
It was just television.
reality
Without
show
the M.
television.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. Let's move forward then. We will talk about the actual television show, WandaVision. So
Mike is like, this mother effer.
hey,
Chris is the worst with time.
I am.
No comment.
Why even put together an agenda?
I have zero awareness of time, just so you know. It's part of the ADHD
I
thing.
know, Chris. I know.
Yeah, everybody knows. My boss knows. My
Mike, you should get one of those clown horns and go beep beep. And you'll know.
Wrap it up.
I'm
Wrap
actually
it up.
surprised he doesn't have that. The way
No,
he tries to keep
just
us
like a
on
little
schedule.
timer. Put like a little timer behind him with a little stopwatch.
Oh, I have a timer. Don't worry.
All right. So,
you were saying, yeah, WandaVision.
So WandaVision. So since it's the three of us, so WandaVision episode 3 and 4. So
By the way,
really-
make sure everybody checks out the quick peek with myself, Serena, and Mike.
Yes, they talked about it. So we won't talk too much. Let's just talk about episode 4 then quick. Because it's just the three of us. Just the three of us. So this was a break into the real world. This whole episode was about what was going on outside of Wanda's bubble. And we got to get there by some great character work by
Elizabeth Olsen.
no, I'm thinking of the FBI agent and
Oh, Raymond Park playing
Raymond-
Jimmy Woo.
yes,
Yeah,
and
Jimmy
Kat
Woo.
Dennings playing
Monica Rambeau. No,
No, Darcy.
no, Darcy. Sorry,
and Monica Rambeau.
I forgot the actress's name. Yeah.
Forget. But these three characters, I thought, brought a fun, different view on this show. Also, I think you finally found the full hook. Like up until now, we've been getting hints at where this show is going, but you're living in Wanda's sitcom brain right now. You get the hints, but now we're there. We're at the full, oh, this is exactly what's going on. This is what's going to happen. These are the exciting bits you're going to see. And so James, what did you think of the episode 4? Do you think it was enough to, because this, I think at this point, if you're not into the show, you're not into the show. This is the big reveal.
Yeah.
So what did you think of this big reveal?
I think, and I touched it more deeply in the quick peek with Serena. I think this episode really connects you back to the overall main Marvel universe, whereas the first 3 are almost standalones. If you're a casual fan, you're confused as fuck. You have no idea what's happening.
I got a story about that.
And then, but if you're there if you you could beat me later. If you're watching all these 23 movies and whatnot, you finally get to this episode, you're like, oh yeah, there is a much larger universe that that existed with Thanos and the snap and what happened after that. So I really enjoyed it because it reconnected me to again to the mainstream MCU. But I think it showed me, for some reason, I was never really a fan of Elizabeth Olsen and what's his name, Paul Bettany. Yeah,
Paul Bettany.
Yeah. Paul Bettany's characters in the Avengers Ultron and Avengers Endgame. And
well, I think they've gotten like 12 total minutes or something on screen time over the last 3 movies they were in or something. So it's not like they were featured player. They're featured on the team, but they're not like leading the charge in any shape, manner, or form.
Yeah, the script didn't do right by them. But I think even in this episode, when we were back into their universe, their little sitcom, it showed better acting, better range, and like it connected me more to those characters.
Oh yeah,
which I never had up to this moment. So I think episode 4 to me, as a main Marvel guy, I like the best of the best of the 4, and it's a bunch of Easter eggs, like the snap in the beginning, the unveiling of that, how that happened, I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, now it's really like putting me in my head like what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 episodes.
So James, question for you. So I've only watched 1 episode, the first episode. So I can just skip 2 and 3 and go right to 4.
No, it's just too much happening, because then episode 4 shows you from the real world point of view what you saw in episodes through. What is it's like an episode of Lost. Yeah, it's got these little standalone stories, but when you get to like the penultimate episode, they ties all these other episodes together. You gotta watch 2 and 3, and 3 is actually not bad. 3 is actually pretty good. It's 2's the one that's really like,
Well, number one, they're only half an hour, so they're not like putting out these hour and 15-minute basically movies that you're dragging through.
Dude, you watch it on a treadmill. Yeah, I know you. Watch it on a treadmill.
No, listen, man. So you're telling me episode 2 is like the Frog Lady episode? Chris got it. From Mandalorian.
I know. Frog Lady episode. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, man.
See, I mean, I think
gotta scratch that.
But there's something from the eggs of the Frog Lady that ties back into the episode 8.
I think if you could watch 1 through 4, I think that's the choice of, is this show gonna do it for me? You could probably watch 1 and 4 and get the gist of, I think
3, and I think you have to watch 3 also.
I mean, because it all ties in together, because 4 kind of shows you both perspectives at times. I enjoyed 3. I thought it was a great episode. So yeah, go watch it. But I think you could watch 4 without watching the other 2 and get where it's at. I think you could, but it's 30 minutes. Like you're not gonna miss anything.
It's not even 30 minutes. It's like 25 minutes for some reason.
It's a pre-cardio warm-up for you, man. Just put it while you're running a treadmill.
So, building on what James said. So, my whole family, we always try to find a show for everybody to watch. There's 5 of us. Lots of work and school and stuff prevents everybody from watching together. But so WandaVision, not normally what my wife would watch, but we basically pulled her in. We said, look, we're all going to watch this together. But this episode started, and like James said, where all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's from Ultron. Oh, that's from this. That's from Ant-Man. And my wife literally had to stop the television and tell us all to shut the fuck up. Because me and my 3 kids were just be like, oh shit, did you what? And we were so annoying.
Yeah.
We were so annoying, but it was funny. So it is one of those shows, like, if you're connected to the universe, there's a lot there for you. But you don't have to be connected to the universe to have this interesting puzzle of a show being built. As long as you know the basics, someone can give you, you watch episode 1, you get the basics. You can understand what the show is going for in episode 4 without understanding the bigger universe.
I think, Chris, you are overselling that point, because I think if you don't know the critical events of Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and Endgame, or maybe not Endgame, but definitely Infinity War.
Yeah.
But obviously, they're going to explain it. They're going to give you those notes. So, like, when you see at the end of the episode, spoiler, you see Vision, and he's dead Vision with his head ripped apart.
Yeah. Oh, spoils for Jack.
You don't have to know when it happened or how it happened. You just got to know that it happened. And there's this guy named Ultron that really sets Wanda off, and she basically kicks someone out of town because they said the name, right? So you just have to know those things, and they're going to give you enough. Because my wife has never watched any of those.
Okay.
So I'll keep an eye. I'll ask her whether she's lost.
She's never watched any of the MCU movies?
I think I made her watch Ant-Man. And
how does that work out for your marriage?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you need a divorce lawyer?
Damn, what the fuck?
We watch murder mysteries. That's our thing together. Like, we watch cop shows, murder mysteries.
They're trying to perfect.
Blacklist.
They're trying to get the perfect murder down.
That's right.
In case.
She's taking notes.
My insurance is not good enough for that yet. So
you remind me of the episode of South Park when they're like going on a binge of murder porn shows, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's good. Triple homicide tonight, baby. You ready for this one?"
So, like, literally all of you make your significant other watch all the geek stuff with you?
I don't make her. She enjoys her own. Like, she has her own little world of Harry Potter that I don't mess with.
Well, we watch all the Harry Potters together. She likes those, but she doesn't give a crap about the superheroes. Like Wonder Woman, we watched Wonder Woman together. She kind of liked it. We watched, like I said, we watched Ant-Man because it was kind of a comedy, and we watched that, and that was fun. But she doesn't really give a crap that Thor can hit things with a hammer. She doesn't care.
That's true.
That was actually an interesting movie. That was funny.
Which one?
Not knowing
Thor
all the
was good.
history. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, you saw that with us.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we have.
I only like that movie because it has one of my favorite scenes in it.
But I mean, I guess that would be an interesting question for like the crowd. Like, do you and your significant other, do you have to watch all of your stuff together, or do you have little separate worlds that you can?
I think it's both for me. I think for me, she has her own little weird geek stuff that she watches. That, like, again, I said Harry Potter because it's probably the most well known. I've never been a fan of Harry Potter. I thought it was a bootleg Lord of the Rings at the beginning, and I was surprised. I was surprised. I don't care. Jesus and puppies, as Keith said. Jesus and puppies. But and she loves the heck out of it. And I even went with her that midnight signing in Barnes and Nobles years ago when J.K. Rowling had the last book in New York at midnight. I'm sitting there like, and I'm making fun of those geeks. And here I am going to San Diego and New York and all this stuff. Like, these guys are losers.
Man, your Twitter is gonna get bombarded once this episode comes out. Good night.
All right, guys. I have to say I've been corrected as my wife is listening upstairs.
What did she say?
I watched them with you, even though she doesn't like them. So
Oh.
she's calling me out right now.
Oh, that was good.
She's
That was
gonna ask you
good.
about the strip club later.
Thought she was listening and then stopped listening. I was like, what did he say?
Well, there's your intro right there
Downers.
for this week's episode.
What's the episode about today?
Wait for that text.
What money is he talking about investing in? For what? What nefarious thing is he up to?
Oh man. Woo. All right.
Yeah.
That was
y'all
good.
Yeah.
That cop, that sheriff that got busted with like he was married and like had a whole nother wife and a couple other girlfriends. It was a very big deal this week.
What cop?
Boy, that's
It's too much to go into. I thought you might have. I thought you guys might have been in a loop, but you're not in a loop.
that
No.
cop has a lot of energy I don't have. So anyway,
Yeah, I think we cross worlds when it comes to like the big stuff. Star Wars, MCU, not so much Star Trek. She's not really into Star Trek.
all right. Mike, we did not get your response on WandaVision at all. You
Yeah,
ran
Mike.
away.
Yeah, I pretty much said all I had to say on the quick peek, right? So, but just to recap, so this one was the best episode yet for me because of the connection with the outside world to inside of WandaVision. It was good to see Jimmy Woo and Darcy back on the scene.
I thought they were great. I thought they brought a lot of character life to the show.
Yeah, exactly, and
I had some negative feedback from some of my other subscribers. They're saying that it was too much throwing these old characters as Easter eggs. It just seemed like cheap writing. And I was like, oh my God, stop it.
no,
It's comic
it was
book
fun
writing.
to me.
It's all
James.
like cheap interconnections.
Yeah.
James is insulting all of our viewers that we have on this one episode.
I know. They're probably gonna watch this and text me later. Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just looking forward to the next one, right, and see what else is going on.
All
See
right.
how it works.
Yeah, I think we're all those of us who are actively watching it continue to be excited for it. I think it's going in a new direction than we've seen before, and it should be fun to see how Marvel can manage to they land this plane, because they've taken off a very funny looking plane.
Mhm.
In Marvel, I trust, man. In Marvel, I trust.
That's right. Okay. So now the next on my agenda, I have no idea what this is. And so I'm going to pass it along to our friend Mike, who wrote the agenda. And it's something called Resident
this?
Alien.
Yeah, so we're not going to go
Are we
too
supposed to
in-depth.
watch this?
I didn't watch it. I have no idea what it is.
I know what it is, but I didn't. watch
Okay,
it.
pay
Yeah.
attention, and at the end, tonight, you can watch it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to go too in depth. I think James and I are the only one who saw the premiere episode that's aired last week. It's a new comedy on SyFy. This one actually came out of the blue for me too, because I was just watching SyFy like a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, this commercial comes on for a new show with Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk, if you know from
I've seen
SyFy.
ads for this on Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Alan Tudyk.
Have you?
I heard something different. Okay.
Oh, get your mind out of the gutter.
Alan Tudyk.
Oh my God.
Did you watch? Hold on, let me get back on camera first of all.
I'm out.
Did you watch Dodgeball?
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
that? He was the pirate.
He was a pirate, and then he left the team and he cleaned up and came back and he's like, we're going to share all this booty with. I say booty.
So,
We're going to share all this gold with.
our geeks out there will know him from Firefly.
Firefly, he's the
And-
pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's more well known for that.
In Rogue One, he was K2SO, the voice for the
Oh,
droid.
yeah, that's
He was
a good
also
one.
the voice. What else was he?
He does a lot of voice acting.
He's
He's
the-
in American Dad, I think, too.
Yeah, but he's also the voice of the Joker and Clayface in Harley Quinn.
In Harley Quinn.
Yes,
That's right.
Harley
yes.
Quinn.
Yeah, so I am a fan of his, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. The commercial, the premise of the show is basically this an alien who is sent to Earth on a mission, and he winds up crashing in a small town in Colorado. So he's basically got to blend in with the town. So he takes over he takes over another.
It's a doctor. He takes over
as a doctor. So
yeah,
now he's got to go around as a doctor.
and be the town doctor.
So
Right.
updated Mork and Mindy.
Kind of. but
Yeah,
it's a little
dark
darker
humor.
yeah, it's darker because his mission isn't actually a good one.
Oh,
Yeah, which they don't tell you until the final moment
Right.
of the premiere episode.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty dark comedy, but
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. The supporting
Yeah.
cast I thought was good as well. So it airs weekly on SyFy. I don't know, James, you want to add anything to it?
I don't know. I caught it on demand SyFy. I don't know when it really airs, but my opinion, I agree with Mike. It's a very good show. I was shocked. See, the thing about SyFy, and I'm pissed at them, is they usually get these very good shows, and then they cancel them like after one season.
Yep.
From The Expanse to Krypton, I can go on and on and on about great shows that didn't last for I don't know why budget, but this show I hope it lasts because so far the premiere hooked me and I'm interested in it. It's again dark humor. It's funny, but it's adult content.
He's perfect for the character. Like his acting is so good in this as the alien. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, when he's
Funny.
pretending to be, I think he actually was drunk when they took him to the bar and he was.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So, take a look. It's also on our TV service.
Heroes Peak. Just say it. TV service.
TV service.
Yeah.
And
That's 10 episodes right now. They got 10 episodes.
Okay.
Next episode's tomorrow. So it looks like it airs Wednesdays weekly on SyFy.
Hmm.
All right, so is that all you guys wanted with that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody right now. Like, we'll come back especially if you guys check it out, and maybe we'll do a full review on it in a couple weeks.
All right. All right. So our final topic of the night is a movie that just came out the end of 2020 called Soul. We finally got to it. We've been wanting to put this on a topic for like
Soul Plane. That's an old
Soul Plane. Snakes on a plane? No.
Oh, glow. Soul.
No, this is Soul. This is the Pixar animated film. Came out Christmas Day, opposite of Wonder Woman.
Best movie of
And it made a huge splash. It had the most views of any digital release for 2020.
But anyone out there with Disney stock, congrats.
Right. This is also a Disney show. As we've seen, Disney Plus has been an actual good investment for me because we have watched quite a bit on there. So Soul is animated movie. It is directed by Pete Docter and Kemp Powers and written by Pete Docter, Mike Jones, and there's another credit here. And
so funny. Director teams are always so funny to me. Like, how does that work? Like, one guy says, I want this angle. The other guy goes, no, I want this angle. You know what I mean?
Well,
this started with the Wachowski brothers with the Matrix.
Yeah.
They started this whole tandem thing.
Right.
Well, what can
or
happen?
Sisters now. Sorry, Wachowski.
I'm not 100% sure about this specific tandem, but from what I've seen is they will separate shots. They will choose sections to shoot. So one will shoot one group, but they will story together. They will brainstorm together. They know how they want it to look. Like that's usually how that works. Is they will separate work and they won't stand there. As far as I know, they won't stand there together and do it. But maybe the Wachowskis were different because they were siblings.
I think the Wachowskis were side by side most of the time. So.
Right, but for this, I believe because Kemp Powers is credited as a co-director and Pete Docter is the director. So I think it's more of an assistant director kind of level. Yeah. Pete Docter is a big name in animated movies, Pixar animated movies. You will know him from such movies as Up and Inside Out.
Oh, Two good movies. Two great movies.
He was the writer for both of those, and the writer for Monsters Inc., which is my absolute favorite Pixar movie. So he has top-notch talent. And what?
I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat.
Oh, okay. So I'm not doing that. Don't worry. So anyway, enough about Pete Docter. Let's talk about Soul. So Soul, come on, internet, move a little faster.
Soul's an animated movie based on a musician who, at the precipice of finding his dream, passes away, becomes a actual ethereal soul being, and now he's trying to get back into his body to fulfill his dream. And along the way, he meets a cast of different characters played by Tina Fey, such and such. The actor himself is Jamie Foxx, and you've got Felicia Rashad, Angela Bassett. Good cast of African American characters too. And it was my pick of best movie last year that came out.
Really?
Yeah. Like you look against
from
everything.
All your other movies that you pick as one of the best?
For a movie, movie, not TV show or anything.
Right.
I can't think of anything that was better. Yeah. I watched it. This was the only one I watched with both kids. Kat didn't watch it. And we all agreed across the board, A. From A+ to A-. I had A-.
I thought you said Bill and Ted 3, so I might have to call bullshit on that one.
That was drunk James.
Like,
sober James talking.
When did John Wick 3 come out?
that was concussed James.
I know that was a fan favorite.
That wasn't sober James. I was concussed.
So I'm gonna ask, what stuck out to you about this movie, James? What made it an A+ movie?
I think what I've seen in the last couple of years for Pixar movies, it's animated movie with some adult themes, but enjoyable for the kid in you or the kid, your kid with you watching it. I like the fact that it featured a predominantly African American cast, but yet was mainstream enough to feel like it wasn't me watching a 12 Years a Slave Pixar movie. I enjoyed.
Now you're just picturing an animated 12 Years a Slave.
I enjoy
My name is Kunta Kinte.
Maybe wrong anecdote. I'm sorry, but what I enjoyed about this is it never felt too like cartoony. There was some theatrics with when the soul went into the cat, whatnot. That was a little kiddish, but as a 44-year-old watching it, it had some very good, powerful themes, about life, your purpose, your dreams. And then it had moments where it was like really comedy of them trying to figure out how to move his body in the barbershop and all this stuff, which is like the kid in you watching it and you're laughing again as a child watching this cartoon. And it wasn't overly preachy, but it still got the message across that sometimes what you think you're meant to do in life isn't what your true purpose really is. It's for you to find it out through the journey of life, not from like what you believe you're born or destined to do. Which it hit all the marks. And I had a quick conversation with both Serena and Eric after the end, and they both loved it from their own points of view, what they caught out of that movie. So to me, a movie like that where it could cross generations, make everyone feel kind of good about it, it's a home run for me. That's why I thought, in my opinion, it was the best movie last year.
The only thing I found weird was when they were giving out the personalities. Some of the personalities they were handing out to the souls, like narcissists.
Yeah. By the way, for Keith, they had the Knicks joke in there.
Yeah,
that was all over Twitter. The reason why the Knicks have been sucky for the last 20 years is because one particular bad ghost she just picked the Knicks to keep torturing.
That was so good.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, Knicks joke.
Yeah. It was trending on Twitter before I even watched the movie. I was like, what are they talking about? Like,
now I'm definitely not going to watch it.
To carry on James's point is one thing that Keith had mentioned a long time ago on the podcast in one of our conversations was he wanted movies that were representative, but without being just preachy and bring you down. That like it just had a black cat. That's it. It was just about a black guy. There wasn't anything. They didn't handle any racism topics. They didn't handle police brutality. They didn't handle anything like that. It was just a guy's life. And it was a great perspective movie with great people, all walks of life, enjoying, having troubles, living their day, living their death. It was such just a good movie in that way that you just don't normally see.
So one of the key parts in this movie is about being in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And
So yeah,
there were some characters that really amused me were the ones who would meditate to get in the zone to join.
Like the hippie guy,
guy on their pirate ship, who turned out to be those sign waivers on
the sign spinner, yeah.
And there's little tidbits like that it just makes you think. It's the guy who seems crazy in the corner, but he's reached an enlightenment level that you regular 9-to-5 guy going to corporate work who's like, oh, I'm making money, I'm gonna go drink and have a happy hour. You think you're happy. Meanwhile, this dude who's selling, stuff, he's living his dream the way he wants it to be, and he's happy, he's enlightened, his soul is able to reach that next level. That stuff like that makes you think,
The only thing that really came up as a topic outside of in the crazy internet worlds following this movie was the question of the soul switching to the cat and Tina Fey, basically the Tina Fey character, which as a character, she was supposed to be a non-binary character.
Non-gender, non-racial character.
Right. She was just a character. She could change her voice, or her personality. She was supposed to be nothing, but she took over the man's body. And this was for a few people. And we know the internet likes to make mountains over molehills. Did you guys have any issues with the body switching?
The idea of a white woman playing the role of a black man. No,
at least temporarily in the movie.
I didn't have any issues. I was shocked that this was even an issue, considering the fact that the writers were black, 90% of the cast were black. Everybody but the executive producer and the director
Pete
that you mentioned earlier.
But the
everybody
and co-writer.
But everyone except for the producer
mm-hmm.
and the director
mm-hmm.
were black. 90% of them, other than Tina Fey and a few other characters. To me, I thought that was just people fishing for vitriol, for controversy.
People always want to find something.
Yeah, to say, well, I found that whitewash. Whatever they said, I forgot. You sent me an article and I was shocked. I didn't believe it. That they were upset that Tina Fey was playing this guy's body and role that Jamie Foxx was playing for the most part of the movie. I'm like, get over yourself. Like, really?
But it's not. She didn't take over his personality. She just took over his body, right?
Yeah.
And then when they had that big emotional part with his mother, he took it back. Like his voice came back, and it was Jamie Foxx again, playing that. Yeah. So was there a character in this movie that really jumped out at you, that really surprised you? That because sometimes there's a fun character that people cling on to. Sometimes there's the serious character, main character. What character jumped out to you?
I think for me, it was the character that was playing the sheriff trying to get the soul back.
Oh,
which
God.
Which I didn't realize it was actually a woman.
Yeah, she's got a great voice.
You mean the accountant? Was it the accountant?
Yeah, I think it's what they called him, the accountant.
Yeah,
Terry.
Yeah,
Terry Rachel House is the name of the actress.
The actress. Yeah, I thought it was a guy.
Well, she does some great characters. She was in Thor Ragnarok. She was the
Korg, or
no, she was the lady behind what's his name?
Our favorite guy, freaking from The Fly.
We're really good at this.
Goldblum. Oh
yeah, Jeffrey Goldblum.
Yeah.
He's like the slaves are revolting. Ooh, don't use that word. The prisoners with unlimited jobs are revolting.
Prisoners of unlimited jobs.
Unlimited jobs are revolting. Yeah, that actress. That's who it was. I like her character because obviously the two main leads are great, but she playing, I don't know if it was supposed to be gender fluid, but her character to me put a little spark, a little extra spark throughout the movie, trying to hunt them down and put order back to the universe. You know, put the souls back where they're supposed to be. That was cool.
Okay, Mike, did you have a character that popped out to you?
No, like I said, probably my favorite was the guru guy, the guy in the zone.
The hippie guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name though. So.
Oh,
was he always high too?
Probably.
You found a connection, right? You found a soulmate. So yeah, I think the overall the designs of the counselors, they're called Jerry's. Those big they were almost like line art, but they had such a interesting dynamic where they were all the same, but they were all different. So one of them was played by Richard Ayoade. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's on The Office, not The Office,
Ayoade,
the IT crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always great. I find him hysterical. Like sometimes, do you guys ever watch like British television?
Yeah, the IT crowd is hilarious. It's a great show.
I haven't seen that
on
one.
Netflix.
Yeah. So there's a lot of jokes with it. So yeah, I gave this one an A. I think a straight A. I don't know if I gave it an A plus. I gave it a straight A. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I gave it an A as well.
Yeah, I think I'd fluctuate between A minus and A. But I'm probably at an A now.
So I know we're a little late with this review. Like I said, we've been trying for like 2 months to.
Yeah, I recommend it if anyone looking for a Friday night, Saturday night with the family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for everybody. And like James said,
or couples.
It feels more like an adult movie that's animated that kids can watch rather than like Inside Out, which felt like almost there. It was like so close to that. Whereas kind of like it shot for preteens and teens. You know, it was like, hey guys, this is for you. It wasn't like for little kids. It wasn't Cars.
And you don't have to pay a $30 premium on Disney Plus to watch it. So
no, it's
that's another
free
good
on
thing,
Disney Plus. And the next one, apparently, Raya the Last Dragon is coming out for $30 and then free in June. So they're not doing 1 month like they did with Mulan. They're basically saying, hey, there's going to be like a 3 or 4 month stint between these two.
Yeah, Disney's not playing. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They know where they can make their money. They need to make at least a little extra money for some of these bigger budgets, so they can put $1 million an episode into these other shows. Hey, they're running the joint. Netflix is holding the lead, but Disney is not fooling around. So that was
I have heard of some upcoming Disney shows that are coming out. I think they've been announced.
Oh, sure. Please tell us.
So as we float out the end of our show, I'm going, Brooks, go ahead. Tell us the shows that you've heard about that you
from your sources. Sources say.
From your sources.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That will come out. It will start the week following
WandaVision's finale.
Finale.
Yes.
They are not giving up any weeks. They are just filling it out.
Nope, straight through it. Loki. After.
Yes. That I believe that's supposed to come out after Black Widow.
Hold on, let's let the sources
go ahead.
say.
I don't know. And then the next one is called What If. You guys know that one?
Marvel's What If. Yeah,
What If is an animated
it's funny.
show.
She's giving us his info. She has no clue what she's telling us.
So
not a clue.
What If is an animated Marvel Universe show where they posit what if this happened and not what you watched. So
yeah, based on the comics in the 90s.
Those comics were the actual. Those were the comics.
Yes.
So like,
oh man, I love Owatu.
What if Peggy Carter was given the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? So Peggy Carter becomes
great thing.
Captain
By the
Britain.
way, the great thing about this show is they got all the original actors to do the voices.
To play the voices. Yeah.
Yes. Even
Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah, before he passed.
Yeah.
Right. And did you guys see the rumor about a Wakanda show?
Yeah, it's not a rumor. It's official.
It's coming out.
Sources say, do you have that in your list?
I don't
well,
have when it's coming out, but it's definitely coming out.
They just announced they were doing something.
Like yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are they going to do with that?
Well, it's a whole country, right?
Well,
There's
yeah, I know.
adventures you can do.
So I was reading before this pod, some stuff they're going to focus on is like the Dora Milaje, and I keep
Dora Milaje.
Thank you, Dora Milaje. Some of their training and some characters from that school
that
of
would
training.
be cool. Yeah.
Another one that I read about was how they're getting involved in like third world countries. So it's that one's probably more political than the rest. But then there was another one that was trying to connect Killmonger's character. What was I reading at?
Yeah, the clickbait sites are trying to keep saying Killmonger's coming back.
I try to not focus on those and focus on like EW, like the main Hollywood Reporter, like IGN, those that are credited.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler's behind that too, by the way. So he's gonna have, because he's gonna continue the content.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And well, looking forward to the Super Bowl and the ads. And as someone noted, Black Widow might be the first movie trailer that has appears on 2 different Super Bowls a year apart.
Oh wow!
Oh, speaking of James, SNL
Because it was supposed to come out last year.
Wayne's World. I guess Wayne's World. The guys are coming back to do commercials.
Oh, that was terrible. Did you see the ad? The part of the ad that they were doing?
Yeah, they look like I don't know, but they're old, right? What do you expect?
Well, it's not
We'll
that.
see
Like,
what happens.
Oh.
Did you guys see the Die Hard ad for the Die Hard batteries?
Yeah, I saw that a couple weeks ago.
So imagine that it's just Wayne's World doing an ad for, I forget who they were doing an ad for.
I don't know. We'll find out.
They saw that Bill and Ted movie and just thought like,
let's cash in on this. Let's cash in. Let's drive our stock up.
So,
by the way, the other thing going back to the Wakanda joint, there's a potential for tribes of Wakanda. Because remember how they had like 4 tribes and then the Jabari tribe?
Yeah.
Oh, what I'd like to see on the show is
David Dukes, not David Dukes.
but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Frank, I'm thinking Frank Dukes.
Frank Dukes.
We were talking Kumite earlier, so now I got Frank Dukes on the brain.
Okay, USA. I think you meant M'Baku of the Jabari tribe.
Yes.
Yeah, but what's the actor's name?
Something Duke Winston. Duke Winston.
There you go. Okay, I knew there was a Duke in there somewhere. Dukes of Hazzard, Frank Dukes.
Little known fact: he made his TV and acting career on the show Persons of Interest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
Which is funny because he played the.
He's also Trinidadian. Keith from Brooklyn.
That's why I just
played
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Gang leader on that show, and then he jumped to Modern Family and played a high school student.
Oh, I missed that one.
Student.
Yeah, he played like a crime boss. He played a crime boss that was actually very smart.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the Modern Family episode, I guess.
Yeah, it's hilarious. He was on there for like half a season because he lived with one of the main characters. So
yeah,
and then he went on to Black Panther.
Okay.
Good agent. Got a good agent.
I have one last question
Go
for everybody.
it, Brooks.
That's totally off subject, but not really.
All right.
Everybody except for James. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this
I know why he said not me.
Yeah.
I actually haven't made a pick yet, but I'm going to say it's probably Kansas City is going to be my guess.
I'm going with Kansas City.
Mike?
Kansas City.
Keith?
Like I feel like the logical answer is Kansas City.
Right.
But I'll tell you, the last time
something about this damn Brady dude, man.
The last couple of times I bet against Brady in the Super Bowl when I thought he didn't have a chance.
No, this
He won.
like talented Mr. Ripley, like
Talented Mr. Ripley.
cool hand Luke. Like he just can't lose, yo. Like, and it ain't even so much about him because I know even if they win, it'll be more so about his team than it probably about his.
The defense is nasty. The defense is nasty. That front
That's
line.
what I'm saying. Like, but I just feel like he's gonna fall. Like the chips might fall, and he's gonna be on the winning side. Like that's like Like, damn that dude, yo.
He should be on the Knicks.
He should be on the Knicks. They should hire him. Put him on the floor. It doesn't matter if he even uses the ball. Just stand on the floor. Okay?
Yeah, like he's just him being there, just him being a part of that team is going to make them the winning team.
You know what happened, right? A pass would accidentally bounce off his head and go into the basket like 50 times during the game.
I think he could make a full court pass very well.
What's Jazz pick? I didn't hear
Probably.
Jazz is city, but I'm saying just like he's saying, like he like Tom Brady will just pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Yo,
Like, man, that's Tom Brady. He just did that.
James,
where do you guys think Bill Belichick will be? Will he be
I'm
in the
not
stands?
betting you.
Will he be at Brady's guest house?
Yo, Belichick is not watching that game.
Not watching the game. No way.
Yo,
why not?
No.
In the corner with him.
But hold on. But my pick is the Lakers. That's why I'm picking to win the Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Look at Brooks.
Lock of the week.
Well done, James. Well done.
You could kill him with her bare hands right now.
Just reach out through Zoom and just strangle.
She's using the force on me right now.
I wish I
I don't know if
could.
the Lakers are going to be able to two-peat though. I don't know. I think that this
Not
big
now.
this big three in Brooklyn.
No, I don't think the big three in Brooklyn's even going to get to the finals. Well, no, that's not true. They'll get to the finals. They just won't get that far.
So
But-
I would like to
Just won't get
personally,
that far.
I would like to personally thank Damian Lillard for keeping me afloat this season.
Oh yeah, you made your come up, Chris. I see you went from 12 to you're up there now.
I'm in 6th. I'm right in the dead center here.
I'm retiring from fantasy.
Oh,
I'm taking the
James-
Jai route, and I'm done. This is it.
James was talking
done.
shit this week on.
I'm coming, man.
You gonna retire?
I'm done.
This week?
I'm like
Oh, that's right.
Optimus
Hold on.
Prime.
I've got Keith this week. That's right. Yeah, I'm taking it out. I don't got shit. I'm definitely taking it
I think at some point Keith should have to beat 2 other players simultaneously in the same
Oh,
week.
wait, what? Wait, relax, homie.
You're so far ahead of the crowd. It's
Chris texted yesterday. I think it was yesterday. How is Keith 1,000 points above the next person?
like that's an
See,
entire.
you guys didn't believe me when I looked at Keith's roster and I was like, who are you doing this draft with? Like 12-year-old kids?
That's all right, Keith.
This is
Keith,
only like
I'm
about
coming, Keith. I'm coming.
only
Week
like
12.
about 40-50% of my original roster. Like this is now me trading and picking people up. Like
Yeah, you do like moves every other week. I check the league, Joy. Feisty McBuckets plus add plus subtract. Like, yo, how many moves can you
but
make?
in my defense, though, I love basketball. Though, like,
Wait,
And no one else does?
you guys haven't figured out how to win in that league yet?
Dude, I'm number 2 right now.
No, the only way you can win is do what Keith is doing.
COVID.
The what?
James,
Half my team has COVID every week. Literally, half my team. Every
doesn't
week, my
matter.
team has COVID.
My wife had COVID. It's still beating people.
Wow.
Eric opened
Yeah,
the
Mike
door
is
here.
so mad at us
my
right
only,
now.
she was my only L. Damn her.
See, she beat you when she was in COVID.
Oh
Damn
wait,
her.
I was gonna say.
I wanted to come out this season with a perfect score.
So-
Yeah, I really thought that was gonna happen. I thought you and my boy Killer Cam from work, shout out, was gonna remain undefeated, and that didn't happen. Y'all both lost.
I'm proud of you, James. Good job. Number 2, holding it
Dude,
down.
I was gonna say. So
I'm
she,
like the Terminator, man. I'm coming. I won't be stopped. Won't be bargained with. Won't be traded with.
James felt some.
Won't
type
be
of
injured
way.
reserved with.
He felt some type of way about last season.
Oh, I watched the freaky, what do you call that, little raffle, the confetti
Yo.
fall down on the non-existent winners and me losing to bots. I was like,
No,
never
you were
again.
losing to people who were not even paying attention to their team.
Playing.
That's it.
Literally not even playing.
They're not even playing.
Russian bots.
Russian
You're
bots,
actively
man.
controlling your team. Like you're actively managing your team. And yo,
Dude, I had the worst luck last.
Still
Come on,
losing.
man. My best player is out for the whole season, Curry, was the beginning of the end for me.
You should have dropped him and gotten another player. James.
Wow.
like James,
But I learned.
he was married to his players. Like he would not move.
I
For real.
was, but I've learned. I had the off season. was like Jordan and between 95 and 96 all season.
Wait, is that the baseball season? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's after the baseball season when he filmed Space Jam and came back in 96, 72 and 10. And Keith is like Shaq and Penny.
So James, who do you think is going to win the league?
The Lakers.
Don't, Jai, why do you hate me?
No, the fantasy league. I was
I
talking about the
know.
NBA.
I've been here for so long.
I heard your question and I answered.
Lakers.
The Lakers. I heard your question very loud and clear.
So I finally moved within like a few hundred points of the top group. So I'm feeling a lot better this week. I'm only 400 points behind James.
Just all you gotta do is make it to the playoffs. Just make it to the playoffs.
That's all right.
Yeah. Just do that.
Yeah, I've done a few pickups and drops. I have not been completely.
Are y'all listening? Are y'all reading the chat? I hope you're reading the chat.
No, I can't read
I'm not
chat.
reading the chat.
Talk.
We're getting a call from HR. Wrap it up, B.
Call from HR right now.
Wrap it up, B.
All right. So
Mike,
then,
what does your poster say in the background?
Oh, you can't read it? It says, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
It's good. Oh, very on topic for today. Very on topic.
That's from
Wall Street,
that movie, right?
Wall Street with
Wall Street.
Michael Douglas.
Greed is good.
well, on that note, I think we will say our goodbyes and thank everybody for joining us. Mike, where can they find us?
Hold on. Thank you, Jai, for joining us. Shout out to
Thank
Jai.
you very much.
Thank you guys
I
for the
wasn't
invite. Thank you
finished,
so much.
but yes, thank you, Jai, for joining us.
So don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Heroes Peak. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and share our videos.
Smash that like button.
And Jai, you are officially invited whenever you feel like coming on, and we will make sure next time that you are told ahead of time the other topics that we will be talking about, so you don't get blindsided.
We still got to do that Netflix Transformers show.
That's right.
Very good show.
I just want to let you know, I've been on the show for like almost a year now, and I just started getting the agenda like 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
So
Mike
You need
spends.
to take it up with HR. Who do you speak to in HR?
Well, that's Mike. Mike is HR.
The
Same person you
problem
get the
was,
schedules from.
I'm not going to get into it, but we know who was doing the agendas and when it was getting out, and now who's doing
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it was me, and I quit.
I quit. So,
also, when they invited me on for one time and said, "Hey, come back," I've literally never left. So maybe we'll see you next week.
No, you were a special guest feature one day, and now she's
And then here I am.
She's on the cast now.
so the goal is to collect like an entire town's worth of people and just not be.
Oh, that
able-
would be awesome, actually. That would be a dope social experiment.
it'd be like one of those CNN town halls with like 15 people in the panel, and they're all. Blah, 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 blah.
Yo, that would turn into like that would definitely be crazy. That every Tuesday night, like a town hall like that, that would be dope.
It would be 14 against Keith.
Hey, it might be fair then.
I was about to say that sounds about fair.
We'll have a chance. We would have a chance at that point. Yeah.
All right,
Keith,
let us
already,
honor Mike's wishes here.
Keith already predicted the outcome. He knows he's the winner. All right, everybody.
Keith Tradamus.
You have a fantastic week, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you
Be
for joining
safe.
us.
Good night.
Peace.